Um, I want to start by telling my story. A lot of people think that, Bella just started selling books, became a big thing, she's still making money and stuff like that. What people don't know is that I've had businesses in the past and I failed woefully at it. In fact, looking back at my younger self, I thought I was going to be one of the biggest makeup artists. I thought I was going to do big things in the makeup industry, but here we are. And I remember that I started my businesses even before I entered medical school. So I used to make beads before. And I remember then I used to tell my parents, my mom in particular, because she was the one that was selling my beads. So I told her that, I'm very shy. I don't think I can ever, sell my beads to people one-on-one. So I think I'll be at the backstage and then, have people that will sell my products for me, and then we can split the profit and stuff like that. And then looking at it, like several years later, I'm sure a lot of us here actually have this. I can have a business, I don't have to put myself out there. I don't have to do this, I don't have to do that, but I can make the money, people can get to know me and stuff like that. But it doesn't necessarily work like that, because over the years, I went from making beads to, going to a cake school. I was making birthday cakes for my colleagues then when I was still in preclinical school, when I was still here in Uturu. Even during my second MB break, I went for a makeup school. I cried and cried and cried. My mother brought out a lot of money to pay for me to go for a makeup school, And it's quite funny because through the phases of like these 7 businesses I did, I had started Bellabooks, but I just never thought Bellabooks was just going to be. Actually, they have goals for it, but you know how you have dreams and aspirations, but you just never really thought that was what it was going to be. And I also want to congratulate everybody who is here at this TEDxABSU, because I used to be one of you too. Looking back at 6 years ago, 5 years ago, when I used to follow Dr. Choma Wakama, Liza, them, Bessie. I don't know if people might not know them, but they used to be very big those days. So I used to follow them for talk shows, I was one of the volunteers. And I used to say, but I wish one day so I'll be a speaker, I'll go for events and stuff like that. But I never really saw it happening. And here we are. So when you have interest in something, you might not exactly know how you are going to get from where you are to exactly that place you want to be. But you just have to trust the process and trust the timing of your life. Okay? So years after, looking at the results, I'm currently practicing medicine. This is my first year as a doctor. Doing house job. I'm running my business. I remember when I got house job, that was like last year. And one of my colleagues messaged me and told me, Bella, I know you think that you can do house job and you would, be selling your business. Let me just tell you now, you can do job and do other things. And here I am, like I'm doing house job. My business is running. In fact, as I'm talking to you guys now, tomorrow I'm on call. And it's possible. Like I'm a living testament. You practice medicine and you can do other things. And also, you can do all those things if you plan yourself very well. Okay, so I'm talking on the topic, hacking the hustle, the keys to succeeding in your entrepreneurial and in your career pursuits. Now, first of all, I think the most important thing we need to know when we talk about hacking the hustle, we have like a different ideology of what hustle is. As putting in a lot of energy, you don't get to have the kind of presentation you want to have. But I'm here to reframe the definition of what hustle is. So hustling, quite unfortunately, we live in a country where even as a medical doctor, medicine cannot even fund my lifestyle right now. In fact, I can finish doing house jobs, save all the money I made from house job. I will not be able to buy a Corolla 2022. Even 2007 is that bad. It is that bad. And it's quite unfortunate because, one of the annoying things about our educational system in Nigeria is that our educational system never really prepared you for life after school. Sometimes when you come out of school, you start practicing, so they scam. Many people just see when you finish school, they feel like, you're a medical doctor, you are a lawyer, all those things. But you cannot even foot your bills. Like, people that even do a soft life more than you are doing. This is not to say that you cannot succeed in your career. You cannot for you to be able to get to that point, you have to take active, different steps from what other people are doing. A lot of people are practicing medicine, a lot of people are practicing law, but they are doing it in a different way. Example, even the Temilade that the previous speaker mentioned about. Temilade is my, and it's quite funny because I remember those days when she was even still in the UK and she was doing her master's. It was the experiences she learned and she saw in the UK that made her come back to Nigeria and begin to organize herself and position herself to where she is right now. And that is something that we have to be very, very intentional about in school. I've done business for years, and getting is an accumulation of all the different experiences I've had in those 10 years. Now, starting from the beginning, when I have like a career and also have a successful business, I also reframe this as, being a student and being a student and being a content creator, being a student and other things. Yes, it's 100% possible. When I was even in medical school, everybody always have this ideology, medical school is this, medical school is that, we don't have time. It's a lie. It is a very big fat lie. Everybody has time. Everybody has time. What's the most important thing is basically what you use your own free time to do and how you organize yourself. Now, starting from the beginning of refining your definition of what hustling is. Hustling is just basically reminding yourself or putting in the hard work, putting in the effort to get from where you are to exactly where you want to be. Example, if you want to even, let's say for instance, you want to enter into the tech industry. Let's say for instance, you want to relocate to Canada. You want to relocate to the UK. Even as a medical student, it starts by putting in the steps while you are in medical school for you to align yourself to what you want to be eventually. Now, one of the key things I know that helped me very well when I was in medical school, and even now I'm done with medical school, is being able to prioritize myself very well, being able to master my to-do list. So if you know you have different things and so many things you do, you cannot spend a lot of time gossiping, a lot of time idling away, a lot of time chatting on unserious things, when you can literally put in 1 hour of those time into developing a skill that is going to help you so much in the future. Talking about developing a skill, we have a lot of high-income skills. You don't have to necessarily have a business per se for you to succeed. And one of the things I always say is that one of the things that really, really helps me as a person was the fact that I started when I was in school. I always used to say it, if you are young, you have the years ahead of you. People know about Bella. People know about Bellabooks. But what they don't know is that I've run Bellabooks since my second year in medical school. That's like 7 years now since I've had Bellabooks. And those beginning years of Bellabooks, I wasn't really sure, was I going to succeed? Was it going to be the thing? Was it not going to be the thing? But the fact that I put in those efforts in those building years helps me get to where I was. And also being able to, while you're in school, building a network of people, within a network of people in form of mentorship, in form of, genuine friendships, in form of networking with people on social media. The funny thing is that we just think social media is a place, you come to, you just watch Instablog, you go to Twitter, you laugh. People have literally used social media to build their careers. For instance, if I was not on social media, I could have books. If my face wasn't shown, if I wasn't building a personal brand, if I wasn't very intentional, I probably would not be here right now. So you have to rethink your definition of what social media is. You have to rethink your definition of what the hustle means and reframe your mind to knowing that it's simply you putting in the action, putting in the steps, putting in the work. You have to do the hard work for you to get to exactly where you want to be. Whether you are looking at building a business, say you have a business and you are looking at, making money from your business and stuff like that, you have to put in the work. Example, when I was even in school, I don't know, how many of you know of TEDxABSU? Okay, people don't know. So when I was in school, right from when I started Bellabooks, I told myself that I was never going to compare myself with other entrepreneurs who are in Abia State. I don't want to play the local game. That's what I told myself from the beginning. And that really helps me because when I look at my business journey as an entrepreneur in Abia State, many people actually assume that I stay in Lagos. Even my customers assume that we are staying in Lagos, we are based off in Lagos. And that's because I was looking at the environment. What is the biggest global environment in this my local community? If I was thinking of playing with people who are in Abia State, who are in Umuahia, I probably would have not gotten to where I am. I probably would have not even been innovative enough. I probably would have been, so interested in the gossip, in the small competition playing, as against looking at playing like a global game. So I would advise you, even now that you're in school, know somebody. When I was in school, when I was in my 200 level, I can never forget, I used to tell her, Dr. Chima Wakama, she's my mentor, I used to tell her that I literally followed her on social media. I was, at a point, I don't know how to frame the word, but more like I was always checking her social media, because then Facebook was the in thing, like the in social media platform then. So I used to follow her so much. I used to because I didn't have access to who she was. And then she was the closest thing to what I wanted to be when I entered clinical school. Because as at that time, Dr. Chimakama had a business when she was in medical school. She was a wig maker. She even used to attend speaking gigs. She was a volunteer. So in the Abia community, she was the person who was already doing global things and stuff like that. So even as a young person that you are based in Abia State, you are based in Umuahia, you are based in Abba, have someone that you look up to and someone that you would like to mirror what they do. Because it's only when you have someone that you look up to or someone that you like to mirror what they do that you unconsciously and unintentionally make efforts to get to where they are. And this is an unconscious thing, because what you spend your time doing, where you have focused on, the way your life turns out. Example, for someone like me, like I mentioned earlier, I was literally looking at people like Dr. Shoma Wakama. I was attending TEDx talks. I was volunteering for TEDx talks. I was attending events, conferences, volunteering, and it got me to where I am. And again, don't ever be ashamed, or don't ever allow yourself to chicken out in terms of applying for opportunities. For someone like me, because of running my businesses, I've won so many grants. I've gotten a lot of, in fact, the latest contract Bellabooks got was with Sterling Bank. And as I'm talking to you right now, my business is across 11 locations in Nigeria. And I did not need to pay anything just because of a strategic networking I did with one of their staff over there when I went to Lagos. And it's quite funny, because you might not even know that these opportunities are present in your immediate environment. But just put in the work. Anything you are building, build it excellently. Look towards building a personal brand. Like what my sister mentioned earlier. Sometimes you might feel like, my life is so boring. Looking back, I even used to wish that, I wish I was more open when I was in medical school. I wish I shared my story more when I was in medical school. You might think that your life is so boring. You might think that even when you're in school, you must not even be a medical student. You might think that maybe studying accounting, studying law, it's very boring. Who will even be interested in knowing what my life looks like and stuff like that? A lot of people are going to be interested. A lot of people don't even know the kind of life that is available at that point. And it's quite funny, because even the younger ones, people who want to enter into university, I remember when I was trying to enter into uni back in the day, I went on YouTube. Then I went to go and check medical students in Nigeria, medical students in Abia State University, medical students in Lagos State University. I wasn't able to even see any concrete content on that. So whatever it is you think you want to do, if you want to do your business, if you're a medical student, if you're a law student, if you're a student at all, whatever it is to do, it's very, very possible. The most important thing is for you to put your mind into finally deciding on what it is you want to do, and then applying the work. Applying the work how? Prioritizing, delegating. Everybody has free time. The free time your friends are using to watch movies, to play, you can use it to develop a content for your brand. Don't be shy. The Igbo said, "Onu kurunjo gekumma." So the thing about it is, you have to not focus on what the naysayers are going to say. People are going to talk. It's normal. They don't know what you're looking at. They don't know what the big picture for you is. So focus on what your big picture is. The picture would not be bright. Just like when you're climbing like a staircase, you might not be able to see the last step from step one. But as you keep climbing, it becomes clearer as you keep climbing. So put in the work. Be very, very conscious of delegating, prioritizing. When it's time for you to focus on school activities, focus on school activities. Don't fail your exams. It's very, very important that you don't fail your exams, because it builds your confidence. So when you need to step back from your business, when I was in medical school those days, anytime you see me disappear on social media I'm not like sunshine. I used to disappear. I would disappear from social media for a while. I will focus and write my exams and try my medical school. I cleared all my papers at once, and I wrote my exams myself. Nobody can come now and say, when she was in medical school, she used to copy. I don't used to copy. I was a Christian girl. I was a CMDA member, so I used to read my books. I write my own, write the one I can remember, and I pray to my God. And then when it's time for me to focus on my business, I focus on my business. Also, and that thing again, I will also mention that is also of note, is the importance of you being able to invest in yourself. Invest in terms of books. I remember when I was in my second year in medical school, I read one book, Smart Money Woman by RSA. And I remember when I read that book, the main character, her name was Zuri. She was 28 years, she was earning 600K, she had a car, she had a house. I was like, oh my God, when will I be able to be Zuri? When will I be able to have this kind of money? But reading that book opened my mind, opened my ideology to what is obtainable out there in Nigeria, just beyond my immediate environment. So it's very, very important that you expose yourself in terms of books, in terms of YouTube videos, in terms of podcasts. There's a lot of very, very educational podcasts out there. In terms of courses, invest in things that are going to make you get exposed. You don't have to even travel. And if you can, even when you're in school, if you can afford to, make some certain trips. Invest in yourself. Travel. When I say travel, I'm not saying go to London, go to UK. It could be as simple as you living Omai and going to Owerri. It could be as simple as you living Owerri and going to Enugu. My first trip was going to Enugu with my sister and my friend. That was my first trip. From there, gradually, because it's very, very important that you exist exist beyond your immediate environment. Because sometimes we might not be aware of what is obtainable outside what we can see. But when you go beyond what you can see, you know that big things, people are doing big things. In Lagos, people are doing big things while in medical school. People are going for conferences like one of the speakers mentioned while in medical school. Some of them are even going for fully sponsored conferences. I know someone that went on a fully sponsored medical conference outside Nigeria. And you might not know that these activities or these opportunities exist. And the good thing about social media now is that social media has made the whole world a global village. It's as simple as you looking for those opportunities and you find someone else who's living in those opportunities, try to network with them, try to engage with them on social media, and eventually, before you know what's going on, those kind of things are also obtainable for you too. So I hope I've convinced people that it's very possible for you to do other things and also practice medicine. Thank you.